Well, we want to take the time to graph another rational function. And for example, what if we graph, well, let's just find the domain of this, then we'll graph it. So I'll call it 1 over x minus 4. And will you agree the domain for this is all reals but 4, because 4 will make that denominator 0. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have a vertical asymptote at 4. So if I call this 4 right here, then we'll have a line. And x can never be 4, that's why we call it a vertical asymptote. Okay, and now let's, by the way, the horizontal asymptote for this is 0, because x can never attain the value, or excuse me, f of x can never attain the value 0, or y can't, because the numerator can never be 0. But let's put a net minus 3. Now what's the horizontal asymptote? Well, the horizontal asymptote's going to be negative 3. Here's why. It took this graph and moved everything down 3 units. So if I call this negative 3, then this is going to be the horizontal asymptote. In other words, this whatever's here impacted the vertical asymptote, and whatever's in this position impacts the constant term. In other words, impacts the vertical asymptote. It shifts the graph up and down. Here we shifted the graph of y equals 1 over x over 4 units. If we put a plus k here, then that k shifts the entire graph up or down. Now let's graph it. So let's find f of 0. F of 0 equals, well, replacing x with 0, I get negative 1/4 minus 3, which equals negative 3 1/4. And so the it's just below this. So here's our f of 0, and so our graph, knowing the behavior of the graph, is going to look like this. And well, let's find the x-intercept. So we'll set f of x equal to 0. So that means that 1 over x minus 4 minus 3 equals 0. So that means that 1 over x minus 4 equals 3. Now if I multiply both sides by x minus 4 and x minus 4, these divide out, and we get 1 equals 3x minus 12. So then if we add 12 to both sides, we get 3x equals, and 12 plus 1 is 13. So then dividing through by 3, we get x equals 13 over 3. Ah, wow. So x equals 13 over 3, which is a little bit to the right of 4, because 12 over 3 is 4. So here we are at 13 over 3, 0. That's an ordered pair. And so our graph looks like this, yeah. Okay, big deal here. This constant moved it up or down what took this to 0 moved the vertical asymptote left or right. And we're done.